Hope you're able to see my screen. Yeah, thank you. So, thank you for joining this demo and welcome to the demo. Thank you for time. My name is Santosh. Uh, I have overall 14 plus years of experience in IT. Uh, I have 3 plus years of experience in training the IT courses, such as Linux, Azure, Terraform. I hold around 15 plus industry leading certifications. All are current and valid. I have a leaning towards cybersecurity topics. Uh, I've been training Terraform for quite some time, for almost 2 years now, with various training providers. And yeah, that's about me. So this webinar is about getting started with Terraform on Azure, or it's a demonstration on Azure. You can take it that way. Uh, so this is the scope of our demo. What we are going to look in the demo session today. So we look at the introduction to Terraform, why we need to use Terraform, a basic Terraform workflow, how that works, a sample demonstration, like we'll see a resource group deployment, how do we deploy a resource group. This is Terraform in Azure. Okay, just make a note. And then I'll explain the course outline. As a last topic, we'll have Q&A, or you can ask me anything. Okay. Uh, so just moving on to the next slide without further delay. So here is the introduction to TF. So TF, or Terraform, is an infrastructure as code uh, system that helps us deploy resources in cloud, not only in cloud but also on-prem, but predominantly cloud, at scale, right? So when I say at scale, you just change few things, a few numbers here and there, or few values here and there. You can create as much resources as possible, right? So, so as you can see, it is supported across multiple providers. So what is a provider? Think of provider as a cloud solution, a platform like AWS, Azure, GCP, DigitalOcean, and there are many like OCI. It has OCI setup, OCI support, IBM Cloud. So you name it, right? It also provides you immutable infrastructure when configuration changes, where configuration changes smoothly. It's easy to understand language. Like if you look at the code, it's going to be a bit easy. It's not a steep learning curve, so you can understand quickly and deploy as you wish. Easily portable to other provider, and it supports client only architecture, so we don't need to have any additional configuration on the management server, or I mean configuration management on a server, meaning you don't have to install anything. You install Terraform, or you download and execute Terraform from the host machine. It is going to deploy in the target, so you don't have to have anything in the target. It's predominantly, it's like you can say it's a semi-agentless. It's not fully non-agent, it's not fully agent, it's like semi-agentless system that is going to deploy the resources, right? Now, why do you need Terraform? A quick question: why do you need Terraform? Of course, as I said, I've already explained a bit. Like it's a multi-cloud, multi-provider support. It's a declarative management tool, so that means you don't have to really write the actual API code, right? So behind the scenes, there is API that is getting called and then deployed, right? But you don't have to do that. It's declarative. So you just specify what you need, right? That's it. So you specify what you need and you have the infrastructure ready, right? It provides you mutable and immutable infrastructure. So you can have mutable infrastructure, you can have immutable infrastructure, where accidental deletion, accidental modification can be prevented, right? Then you have state management. Depends upon how you want to store the state. You have options. You can store the state remotely. I'll explain what is state. Think of state as a blueprint of your infrastructure. So Terraform stores in its memory a blueprint of your infrastructure. That blueprint is called a state, right? It's a file, it's a flat file. So that file can be stored. That file can be stored remotely or locally, right? So that's called state management. And yeah, so that's mostly about here. The whole advantage is it's declarative. It's declarative in nature. It follows industry standards. Supports for module deployment, very important. So the third point is support for module development. You can develop modules. So you write the code once and you use it multiple times for multiple scenarios. Absolutely possible. And it works for multiple providers. We know that. Of course, you have easier to share, easier to parallelize. It also follows the modular architecture. Okay. Uh, so this is the basic Terraform workflow, right? What happens at each stage, I'll just explain. So these are the four stages. First, second, and third are mandatory. Fourth may or may not. If you can destroy the resources, obviously you can destroy, right? So first step is Terraform init. So Terraform init is going to initialize the working directory. So what is important for the Terraform is the working directory, the directory where you have the Terraform executable. Okay. So wherever you put the Terraform executable, that's the directory that Terraform looks at. Outside that, it doesn't bother. It need not look at it. So working directory where Terraform is deployed or kept is what matters for Terraform. So when we try to initialize, the phase is called initialize phase. It's going to download all the plugins required for that provider. So Azure will have some providers, right? Now, what is a provider? Think of provider as a backend code that helps us, that supports the all the required code to deploy Azure infrastructure, right? Now I'll give you a simple example. uh, you have PowerShell, or even take Linux, right? So when you install certain packages, let's say Apache or HTTPD, those set of commands are also installed along with, right? Similarly, in Windows, if you install something called Active Directory, domain services, or if you install IIS, so there are some PowerShell modules that are installed so that you can use them for that specific product, right? So similarly, when you do a Terraform init, the required providers are initialized and all the required code is downloaded, and you can deploy, you can write the code for the infrastructure that you need. That will be recognized. That works because you have the relevant provider download. Relevant provider you have downloaded, how you downloaded? Because you executed Terraform init. And where does Terraform init picks up that information? There is something called a provider block. I'll show you that. Okay. So that's the first step. Second step is the plan. So Terraform plan is going to plan the execution plan. It's going to show an execution plan, how many resources it's going to deploy. The way Terraform looks at is create. If you want to create a resource, it's going to say create. If you're going to update in place, it's going to say update. If you it's going to delete, it's going to say delete. So Terraform plan is going to provide us an execution plan of what it is going to create, what it is going to update, or what it is going to delete. So either one of these or many of these, right? uh, and then Terraform apply. Terraform apply is what actually creates, modifies, deletes the infrastructure. Okay, depends upon what you have. So Terraform apply is what is going to create resources for you or modify or whatever depending upon your configuration. Okay. And finally, if you want to destroy the resources, what you have deployed, just use Terraform destroy. It's going to delete everything. Now Terraform apply also does Terraform plan. Okay. But it's a good practice to do Terraform plan first and then apply. So some people directly doesn't apply and then they'll deploy. No, it's always good to look at your plan, very important, so that you know what it is going to deploy and you know that's what is exactly expected. Sometimes you may assume that okay, this is going to work, but may or may not. It's always good to take a look at the plan. Okay, so this is the basic Terraform workflow. I'm going to show a quick demonstration of how this works. So I have a main file. This is called a configuration file. You can call this file with multiple names. This can be a configuration file. This can be a Terraform file. So any file with .tf is called a Terraform config file. So what does a config file has? It has some code. So if you look at, I'm first declaring what is the provider that I'm going to work with. So I'm going to work with Azure. So that's why this information. If it's AWS, then this will vary. If it's GCP, this will vary. So I'm specifying, hey Terraform, I am going to work with Azure. And I have to specify the source and the version of the provider, right? The next step is where I provide specific configuration options for the provider Azure RM, right? Because Terraform needs to authorize and authenticate to my subscription. So hence I have to provide these information like client ID, tenant ID, subscription ID, and client secret. Okay, so this is important. Otherwise, Terraform has no way to authenticate and authorize to my Azure subscription. And then finally, I have a code that's going to create a resource group. Okay, so this is my working directory, which is E drive, and TF test is my working directory. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do Terraform and then init. Okay, I have a Terraform binary here. I'm going to simply do a Terraform init. That's it. Okay, this is the first step that we saw here. That's what I'm going to do. But the moment I do, it's going to download the plugins that I need. Okay, it's going to initialize. It's going to look at where is this information getting from. It's getting from the declaration that I've done. So 3.990 is what I've declared. So that's the version of Terraform plugin that it is going to install, download and install. And soon you will see that there is a change here. So there is a directory .terraform created, and within this directory you will see this provider. The version is 3.999, right? Why we have this provider? Because what we are using here, one, we are using Azure. Two, we are using this code. For this code to be recognized by Terraform, it needs to have this provider code. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do Terraform plan. So Terraform plan is going to provide us an executable plan. Now, what is the plan it's going to show me? It's going to show me this plan that I just have to create a resource group. So it's going to tell me there is one resource to create, which is this resource group. So that's it, right? So it says plan, one to add, zero to change, zero to destroy. Okay. Now, plus this green colored plus means it's gonna create. Plus symbol means it's going to create. It's a indication description, and it's going to uh, this is what it is going to create. Now, next step is I'm going to do apply. So apply is going to again do the plan, and it's going to show me the uh, prompt whether I want to continue or not. Okay. So do you want to perform the action? Uh, so what is the plan? The plan is about creating one resource. I'm going to say lowercase yes, lowercase letters yes, and then it's going to create the resource group. Okay, it's already existing. That's fine. So let me give another resource name. So it seems the resource group already exists. Let me make it 55 RG555, and let me do an apply. Anyways, apply is going to do the plan all once again, and then now because I've changed the resource group, it's going to tell me the resource that it's going to create. It's going to create RG555. You see, I'm going to say yes. It's going to create the resource group. Now, why this error message? This error message is there because RG5 already exists in my environment. So that's why it says to be managed, it needs to be imported into Terraforms, which I don't want to explain right now. But it has now created. See how quick it was, like 4 seconds, it was created. Right now, if I go to my environment, you see RG555. So this is the demonstration of creating a resource group. Okay. And finally, the course outline, we will start with introduction to Terraform, Terraform state management, uh, basic resource deployment concepts, creating multiple resources using meta arguments, locals and variables, data sources, provisioners, Terraform registry, workspaces, Terraform cloud, Terraform functions, lifecycle meta argument, and Terraform modules. Now, there are multiple expectations maybe you may have. So people who may like you may all you one I mean some of you one or any or many of you would be targeting certification. Yes, this course helps you with completing the certification. If you're looking for a job, like if you want to apply this job, yes, this would greatly help you in your job uh, uh, roles and responsibilities. Or something starting with something, so somebody starting newly, yes, this will help you understand all these concepts. Or somebody has already done Azure courses, they already know administration, then this is another good path to go for. Like our cloud automation is really a good path to go for. Okay, so you just need a free account, which I'll explain. You need to access, you need to have Visual Studio Code Editor. I'll also explain that in the session. Thank you for your time.